no names that couldn't be spoken. Just pension checks and grocery runs, and the blessed mundanity of suburban life. But old habits died hard, especially when you'd spent 27 years identifying threats before they identified you. The first red flag came on a Tuesday. Harold's mail wasn't picked up until 11 a.m., 3 hours later than usual. The second came Thursday when she noticed his kitchen light stayed on all night. By Friday, when she saw him walking his perimeter at 3 a.m., she knew. Harold Brennan wasn't just any retired widower. He was operational. She'd been brewing coffee at dawn when the movement caught her eye. Not Harold's usual shuffle, but something else. A black sedan, no plates, parked 3 houses down. 2 men inside, one talking into a radio. They'd been there for 20 minutes, engines running, exhaust visible in the cold air. Mary set down her mug and moved to the window. The sedan's passenger door opened. A young man stepped out, neat suit, wireless earpiece, moving with the kind of practiced casualness that screamed federal training. He walked toward Harold's house, not hurried, but purposeful. Through Harold's front window, she saw him freeze at his kitchen table. His coffee cup stopped halfway to his lips. He'd seen them too. What happened next confirmed everything. Harold stood, moved to his front door, and in one fluid motion, flipped the deadbolt, drew the curtains, and disappeared toward the back of the house. Not the actions of a panicked old man. The actions of someone who knew exactly what federal surveillance looked like and had contingency plans. Mary's pulse quickened. Not fear, calculation. Harold was in trouble, and whatever he'd done in his past life, it was coming for him now. She could walk away. Should walk away. Her discharge papers were signed, her oath fulfilled. But watching neighbors get disappeared wasn't something she could live with. She moved to her bedroom closet, pushed aside winter coats, and found the lockbox she'd hoped never to open again. Inside, a secure phone, 3 passports, and a .45 caliber pistol she'd carried through 2 combat zones. Her fingers traced the grip. Still familiar. Still ready. The secure phone buzzed to life. 1 number programmed, emergency use only. She hesitated, then dialed. Thompson, the voice answered on the first ring. General Richards, her old commanding officer. Mary? What's wrong? I need intel on Harold Brennan, 47, Maple Street, Riverside. Civilian cover, probably deep black operations. Someone's about to take him. Silence. Then typing. Jesus, Mary. You sure you want to know? Tell me. Harold Brennan died in 1987. Car accident in Prague. Whoever's living next door to you has been using that identity for 35 years. Mary's blood ran cold. Who is he? Classified. But Mary, if they're coming for him now, after all this time, it's because something big is about to happen. Something that needs his specific skill set. Through her window, she saw the second agent approaching Harold's back door. Professional, coordinated. This wasn't an arrest. This was an extraction. Richards, I need to know what I'm dealing with. Can't tell you that. But I can tell you this. Viktor Kozlov, former GRU, went missing in 1987. Same year Harold Brennan supposedly died. Same year our Prague operation went dark. The pieces clicked. Viktor Kozlov. She'd heard whispers in briefings. A Soviet intelligence officer who'd fed information to the CIA for 3 years before disappearing. The kind of asset who knew state secrets worth killing for. Mary, whatever you're thinking, don't. If they want him, they'll take him. If you interfere, you'll disappear too. She hung up and grabbed her jacket. Harold wasn't just her neighbor. He was a defector who'd been living under her nose for 3 decades. And now, someone had found him. The back door to Harold's house opened. Not from the outside, but from within. Harold stepped out, hands raised, but not in surrender. In recognition, he was talking to the agents, calmly, like old colleagues. This wasn't a capture. This was a reunion. Mary moved closer, using her garden shed as cover. Harold's voice carried across the yards. I told you I was done. 20 years I've been done. The Berlin files surfaced last week, the agent replied. Moscow wants them back. You're the only one who knows where they are. Those files were destroyed. No, Viktor. They weren't. And now everyone knows it. Harold's shoulders sagged. Viktor. The name fit him better than Harold ever had. 35 years of American suburban life, and he was still the same Soviet intelligence officer who'd risked everything to defect. If I go with you, I'm a dead man, Viktor said. If you don't, you're a dead man anyway. At least this way, you have a chance. Mary saw Viktor's hand move to his jacket pocket. For a moment, she thought he might have a weapon. Instead, he pulled out a small device, no bigger than a thumb drive, and held it up. This is what you really want, isn't it? The agents stepped forward. The Berlin files? Everything. Names, dates, safe houses, bank accounts. Every Soviet operation in Western Europe from 1975 to 1987. I kept one copy, just in case. Viktor, you're coming with us. Whether you want to or not. That's when Mary made her choice. She stepped out from behind the shed, hands visible, voice calm but carrying. Gentlemen. All three men turned. The agents' hands moved to their weapons. Viktor's eyes widened with something like recognition, though they'd never met. Colonel Mary Thompson, U.S. Army, retired. You're on American soil, conducting an extraction without local authority notification. That's a violation of federal law. The lead agent smiled. Ma'am, this is a matter of national security. Please return to your home. Whose national security? Mary asked, still walking toward them. Because Viktor Kozlov was a CIA asset for 3 years. That makes him our asset, not yours. Viktor stared at her. How do you know that name? Because I've been briefed on Prague operations. And because I know that device in your hand isn't just Berlin files. It's everything. Every Soviet operation you knew about, every American operation you helped with, every name on both sides. The agents exchanged glances. Mary had hit the target. Colonel Thompson, the lead agent said, walk away now, and we'll forget this conversation happened. Can't do that. See, Viktor here has been my neighbor for 3 months. Good neighbor, too. Waters his roses, keeps his lawn neat, doesn't play music too loud. The kind of neighbor you want to keep around. Viktor almost smiled. Mary, they're not going to ask nicely again. I know. Mary's hand moved to her jacket. Question is, are you going with them because you want to, or because you have to? Does it matter? It matters to me. Viktor looked at the device in his hand, then at the agents, then at Mary. If I don't go, they'll come back with more people. People who won't be as polite. If you do go, you'll be dead before you reach wherever they're taking you. The lead agent stepped forward. Colonel, last warning. Mary looked at Viktor. Your choice, Harold. But if you're staying, I'm staying too. For a long moment, the four of them stood in the cold morning air, breath visible, tension thick as fog. Then Viktor smiled, really smiled, for the first time since Mary had been watching him. You know what? I'm tired of running. Tired of being afraid. Tired of watering roses and pretending to be someone I'm not. He looked at the agents. You want the files? Come and take them. The lead agent reached for his weapon. Mary was faster. Her .45 was out and aimed before his hand cleared his jacket. Easy, she said. No need for this to get messy. Colonel, you're interfering with a federal operation. Prove it. Show me your warrants, your authorizations, your federal identification. Because right now, all I see are 2 men threatening my neighbor. Viktor stepped closer to Mary. They don't have warrants. They're not federal agents. They're private contractors. Working for who? Whoever's willing to pay for 35-year-old intelligence files. Mary's grip tightened on her weapon. Viktor, those files still matter? Names don't age, Mary. Sources don't expire. Some secrets stay dangerous forever. The second agent, who'd been silent until now, spoke up. There's $100 million bounty on those files. Every intelligence service in the world wants them. And you figured you'd collect? We figured we'd retire. Mary looked at Viktor. Where are the real files? Viktor smiled. Safe deposit box. Bank of America, downtown. But this? He held up the device. This is a virus. Whoever tries to access it will find their entire network compromised. Insurance. Retirement plan. The lead agent raised his weapon. Mary's finger tightened on the trigger. Viktor stepped between them. Wait, he said. I have a better idea. He looked at Mary. Colonel, how do you feel about a little trip to downtown? To do what? To destroy some files that should have been destroyed 35 years ago. Mary smiled. Harold, I thought you'd never ask. They walked away together, leaving the two contractors standing in the backyard, weapons drawn but no targets to aim at. Viktor had made his choice. After 35 years of hiding, he was finally ready to stop running. As they reached Mary's car, Viktor turned to her. Why did you help me? Because you water your roses every day at 8:30. Because you pick up your mail at 6:15. Because you keep your lawn neat and don't play music too loud. That's it. Mary started the engine. That's enough. They drove toward downtown, two old soldiers heading into one last mission. Behind them, Maple Street was quiet again. The kind of quiet that comes after storms, when the air is clean and the danger has passed. Some stories never make the headlines, but they deserve to be remembered. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who just want to water their roses in peace. And sometimes, the best neighbors are the ones who'll stand beside you when the past comes calling. In the rearview mirror, Mary saw the black sedan following at a distance. Viktor saw it too. They're not going to give up, he said. I know. This won't end with destroying the files. I know that too. Viktor looked at her. You're not doing this just because I'm a good neighbor. Mary smiled. You're right. I'm doing this because I've been bored out of my mind for 3 months. Do you have any idea how tedious retirement is? Viktor laughed. Mary, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Let's hope we live long enough to enjoy it. They drove toward downtown, toward the bank, toward whatever came next. Two old spies, one last mission, and the kind of partnership that only forms when the world gets complicated enough to need it. Behind them, Maple Street remained quiet. The roses would need watering again at 8:30. The mail would need collecting at 6:15. But Harold Brennan wouldn't be there to do it. Viktor Kozlov had other plans.